Today on Monkey Life, newly arrived Capuchin Dino comes face to face with a new phenomenon. Flirty females.
Obviously, he's a bit wary. I think it's new. We don't know that he's met females in the past.
Elderly gibbon Ella proves a worry.
Over recent months, we have become a little bit concerned about her eyesight, and we now believe that she actually has cataracts.
And woolly monkey Paulo begins to make his mark as the newly promoted dominant male. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
We've really done everything we can to make her journey as smooth as possible.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. The arrival of newly rescued primates at the park often heralds a change in group dynamics. It's important that newcomers make friends and fit in well with other, more established residents. Male Capuchin monkey Dino, who was rescued from the pet trade, is one such recent arrival. He's palled up with another male, Winslow, who had been ousted from his group, and they're now living together. Capuchins are highly strung monkeys. Getting them to form happy and settled groups can be difficult. But the primate care team's hope for Dino and Winslow is that they form a new group of their own. Today they're going to meet some possible long-term companions, and they're all females. Maggie, Maddie, Sophia and Ginger have all been living as low-rankers in Tao's group. The team think they'll do better with some new males, so it's up to Dino and Winslow to win them over. This morning, the girls were separated from their old group and moved together to the boys' home.
They've done remarkably well. They calmed down very quickly in the house and they seem very relaxed and settled. They just seem to be enjoying being in their little subgroup now where they haven't got to worry a bit about being low-ranking animals like they were in Tao's group.
With both the girls and the boys settled, it's time for their first group date. With the door open, the monkeys can mingle as they please. This is a big moment for Dino. He's never met ladies before in his life. His insecurity shows, but he holds his ground.
Obviously, he's a bit wary. I think it's new. We don't know that he's met females in the past, so it's quite interesting. Obviously, he needs a new sort of set of social skills to what he needed when he met Winslow for the first time.
Dino needs to call on his social skills straight away. He's not sure what Ginger and Maddie are trying to tell him. Ginger's approach is a little full-on, while, to help him out, Maddie indulges in a little flirting behaviour. Capuchins are expert flirters. Raising their eyebrows and making submissive gestures could get them a long way in the dating game. It's gone well enough for the care team to encourage the Capuchins to go into the outside enclosure. These feisty and intelligent monkeys have a complex social system, so having a bit of space should hopefully help ease the process. Unlike Dino, Winslow's used to female companionship. He makes the most of it, and Maggie is the beneficiary.
A big concern we had was whether introducing the females would affect the dynamic between Winslow and Dino, but their relationship seems to be fairly settled. Winslow is in charge and Dino sort of is below him, but it seems to be working at the moment. Hopefully they will continue that way.
The tricky process of forming a new Capuchin group has got off to a good start, and life for Dino is looking up.
It's very early on in the introduction at the moment, but touch wood, so far everything's been really good. There's been a lot of positive interaction between the males and females. Everyone seems to be getting on okay. Obviously, we know what capuchins are like. They can be very highly strung, and it doesn't take a lot to make one turn on someone else, so we will continue to monitor them very, very closely, and hopefully they'll all settle down.
It's not just the capuchins who've been moving around at the park. During the last few weeks, there have been lots of changes for the park's woolly monkeys too. Chippy has moved to become dominant male at Oscar's former group, leaving young adult male Paulo to step into his extremely large shoes as new leader of the barn woolies. Paulo was born at the park in 2007. The son of Levar, he wasn't fed by his mum Kuna, and for the first 6 months of his life was hand-reared by Alison and keeper Mike. He's grown up with brilliant male role models to learn from. First, when a youngster, from Bueno, and more recently, Chippy. He's certainly beginning to look the part.
It's all still relatively new for the group. They have started to settle a little bit. Paulo is starting to grow into his role. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to fully develop into it. He has got a lot to learn. He's kind of been an immature teenager before now, so he's got a big step up to do, but hopefully he's going to embrace the challenge. But the females are starting to adapt a little bit to life without Chippy, and we have already seen the group start to settle down a little bit more.
To become a successful dominant male, Paulo will need to be a very strong and assertive character. He'll have to gain the trust of the females and show he's there to protect and look after them. Any disputes or squabbles, and Paulo will have to take charge to make sure nothing escalates out of control.
He's always been a very confident character within the group, but because of his past and his history of being hand-reared, he's obviously had to kind of have a bit of a crash course in his social skills and how he deals with the rest of the group. But he has developed very, very well. He is a very big and very impressive male now. We're just hoping when he has to take this next step up to be the dominant male that he's going to kind of learn the ropes quite quickly and develop from the kind of immature teenager that he was into a full-blown, good, all-rounded dominant male that the females need.
There are two females in this group, Pakaya and Yurima. Yurima is one of the more sensitive woolies at the park and can be nervous in new situations. She'll need time to adapt to Paulo being the dominant male. But for the two youngsters, Eva and Oriana, and baby Carlos, there should be no such problems.
He's absolutely brilliant with the youngsters and the babies in the group. He's very patient, very gentle with them, and because he's still kind of full of energy and really playful himself, he does enjoy getting involved in a play session. So the two youngsters, Carlos and Oriana, in this group absolutely adore him. So that's obviously really good, and it's nice for the females to be able to trust him with their youngsters as well.
It's going to be a steep learning curve for the young adult, but staff are hoping that, given time, he'll grasp the opportunity and make a great success of his new role.
If he can get a little bit more sensible, calm down a little bit, not be quite so excitable, he can really embrace the role, be really level-headed, make a good leader, and the females will just adore him as much as they adored Chippy, and hopefully the future looks bright for them.
But at one of the gibbon houses, life is anything but bright for La Gibbon Ella. In fact, it's decidedly cloudy. Ella lives with male Muller's gibbon, Fox.
It's unlikely, but it works so well. They are very close and affectionate. They both are very happy towards each other and very happy with each other's company. They really do make the most of every day.
But although they enjoy life together, the primate care team have noticed the female half of this duo is experiencing problems. Before coming to the park 14 years ago, Ella lived a very different life. She arrived with a long list of medical conditions, from a circus via Kaliningrad Zoo. With care, she recovered well. But she's now nearly 30, and staff have noticed a number of changes in her.
She's an old lady. She likes to lie around in the sunshine and just take life at a bit of an easier pace. Over recent months, however, we have become a little bit concerned about her eyesight, and we now believe that she actually has cataracts. Sometimes we see when we do something like this where we've actually got quite a small treat in our hands and we hold it out to Ella, sometimes like there you can see she doesn't quite seem to see it. Other times she seems to quite easily see where the treat is and put her hand straight to it. We think that that's actually depending on the light. Often with cataracts you'll find that in really bright sunny conditions it actually appears to make the eyesight worse and much harder for them to be able to see things clearly. Ella, you missed it. There you go. And when it's actually a little bit duller, it's much easier for them to see.
Gibbons live at the very top of the tree canopy and can move with incredible speed and agility using their long limbs to travel. Their hand-eye coordination is vital to their survival. Ella's slow and careful movement is a sure sign something is wrong. She's having to look hard for her next handhold. Ella and Fox were put together after Ella's mate Nike passed away.
They've both been at the park for quite some time, but they've actually only lived together for about a year and a half. And as you can see, they are the best of friends. They're also a couple of our sweetest natured gibbons. They're very sweet and affectionate towards the staff as well as towards each other. They have quite gentle personalities generally.
The care team are determined to do their best for elderly Ella and are seeking medical help for her eye condition. It's possible she might be able to have a cataract operation, although at her age, an anaesthetic could be a big risk. For the moment, Ella is just about coping, but the keepers will be carefully monitoring her progress over the coming days and weeks. The park is home to 4 groups of chimpanzees. At the top of the park, Hanania's been in charge of his group since 2004 and has 18 chimps living with him. Over to the west, there's Paddy and his 17 chimps. Across from them, Sally has just 4 others living with her. And then, next door, are the Rowdy Bachelor Boys, a group of 15 males, where there has recently been some political manoeuvring going on.
They're a little bit more boisterous, they're always very active, but they are, in all, they're quite a playful group.
Chimpanzees are sociable animals and live in complex communities. There's a male hierarchy with a dominant male in charge. Since the group started, Butch, who's in his 30s, has been top dog. And with the help of the bully boy half-brothers, Buxom and Jester, he's reigned with an iron fist. A chimp can only become leader with the support of others, and Butch wouldn't have succeeded or held on to his position without his henchmen.
He has a bit of a temper, he likes things to be done a certain way, he likes things to be done his way. He's more of a bully leader.
All dominant males have their own leadership style. Getting to the top of the tree is often down to brains or brawn, but a strong political streak is also important. At the Bachelors in the past year, the leadership has been in question.
Butch seems to have stepped down from his position, which is understandable. He is getting a little bit older. It's a lot of responsibility. Luckily for the Bachelors, they seem to have dealt with the process really well.
It's not easy being top chimp.
It's a really stressful position. It's actually a position that you have to really want as a chimp in order to get that high position within the group. And it comes with lots of perks, so obviously you get good access to food, you get to choose where you nest, you basically get to pick whatever you want within the group and everyone else has to sort of accept it.
But Butch has made the transition from leader to lower down the rankings well. He's still high up, but his power has waned.
It's actually quite a nice, calm life for him now. We have seen him relax a lot more. I think he's got a really good life now.
It's not clear who the leader is yet, or how any power struggle will play out. Recently, there have been 3 main contenders for the top job, including Butch's top lieutenants Buxom and Jester. But there is a wildcard candidate too, high-ranking Paco. Rescued from the beaches of Spain, he loves to strut his stuff and does highly impressive displays. But some of the money's on Jester pipping the others to the post.
He has been known in the past for his aggression towards the other chimps, but actually when you look at him and the way he deals with situations, he seems to be dealing with them quite well. He spends time grooming with them, which as a dominant male is really important, because it's really important for him to make sure he makes friends with all the members of his group. So for him doing that, he's showing that he's really got the right mindset in order to be the dominant male in the bachelor group.
Jester's transformation into a possible leader could, in part, be down to the primate care staff's proactive treatment of the ongoing skin condition he's had for some years. He suffers from a type of eczema and has recently been trained to present his body to be moisturised with a medicated cream, which seems to have made him more comfortable. Another benefit for Jester is that many chimps arrive at the park without experience of living with others. But he came from a zoo, so understands their complex social structure. But at 36, the question now is, how long could he stay in power? Sitting in the wings are Paco and Buxom, and both could be strong contenders, but at 34, Buxom is also getting on a bit. Paco, on the other hand, is in his early 20s and could be an excellent leader. But one thing is certain. In the future, a younger chimp will need to come to the fore. It's a long way off, but young Ben, who was born at the park, is shaping up well.
Ben is very impressive. He's exactly how you want a future dominant male to be. He's got all the right looks on him.
But for now, Jester, Buxom and Paco each need to plan their next move for political dominance at The Bachelors. The park is home to 3 groups of orangutans, each with 1 adult male. Tuan is estimated to be around 29 years old and has 4 females living with him, including Jolie and Linga, who arrived at the park as babies. At the other end of the park is 19-year-old Gordon with his 3 ladies. And then there's the nursery group, including 11-year-old Kai, who's beginning to outgrow it. He's a gentle and friendly orangutan who was born at the park to mum Xiao Kuai. She's a great mum, and he was the first orangutan born at the park to be reared by his mother. Kai now has 2 younger siblings, 7-year-old brother Jin and 4-year-old adopted sister Awan. Alison and the primate care team who work with the orangs have a great deal of affection for Kai.
He's such a lovely nature chap. He's very friendly, he's peaceful, he's not aggressive, although he has a little bit of attitude and character, so if he's not getting what he wants, he'll let you know. He's definitely got a firm hand on things, but at the same time he's caring and understanding, so he's the perfect man, really.
Kai has a great life at the park and has enjoyed living in the nursery group with his mum, siblings and 4 other orangutans. But he didn't always live in this group.
He and his mum did live with Gordon and a few other adults, and you know, that was perhaps a good upbringing for him as a youngster. And then when he moved back to the orangutan nursery, when he became a rival, if you will, for Gordon, he then met Jolie and Linga and established a good bond and relationship with them.
Jolie and Linga both arrived at the park, which is the European creche for orphaned orangutans, not long after birth, and grew up here. Both were rejected by their mums. In their early years, they bonded well with Kai.
Kai spent quite a few years actually interacting, playing, rolling around in a heap with Jolie and Linga. They know each other extremely well.
But as a maturing male, Kai can't stay in the nursery group for much longer, and the staff have been working hard to find a more suitable home for him. And now they have. Soon he'll be leaving along with his friends Jolie and Linga. The trio will be moving more than 1,000 miles away to a safari park in Spain, where they'll start a new group together. All three are Bornean orangutans and part of the European breeding program, which oversees the care and management of this critically endangered species. In Spain, Kai can start his own family and contribute to the success of the program.
Both Jolie and Linga are forces to contend with, and probably two of the more dominant ladies by nature that we have here at the park in terms of our orangutans. And yeah, I think Kai's going to have his hands full if he thinks he's going to be in charge.
As a rescue centre, the park doesn't say goodbye to animals very often, and it won't be easy for the team when the time comes for them to leave.
All I can say is that I'm, very proud of the orangutans, which sounds silly, but Kai has grown up into an absolutely beautiful young man. Jolie and Linga are just wonderful and fun and nice. So the three who have grown up together over the years are perfectly set up to come together and be that new small group of orangutans in Spain. So it's now time for us to bite the bullet. It's never a good time or an easy time. Nobody's really happy about it, but it's what's right for Kai, Jolie, and Linga.
Next time on Monkey Life. Elderly Gibbon Ella's on the operating table, but can her sight be saved?
So that is a very dense cataract, isn't it?
And the squirrel monkey and Saki enclosure gets a makeover.